Reptichip sets the standard for reptile substrates. Made from the highest quality coconut available anywhere in the world, Reptichip allows enthusiasts and keepers to provide their reptiles with the necessary humidity and thermoregulation required for your animals to thrive. You can support the podcast by heading to reptichip.com/snakeboy or visit the link in the description below. This episode is brought to you in part by Exoterra. If you're as passionate about reptiles and amphibians as I am, you know that quality matters. I use Exoterra products on all my reptile and amphibian enclosures, which is why I'm excited to be partnering with them. From naturalistic decor to innovative lighting and enclosures of all sizes, Exoterra has everything you need for your cold-blooded companions. Exoterra, make your reptiles feel at home. This episode is brought to you in part by Unlimited Exotic Pets. Every day is Veranda Day for Nick Lillis, and it shows. At Unlimited Exotic Pets, Nick produces high-quality monitor lizards with a deep commitment to ethical care practices and top-tier nutrition. These aren't just pets. They're responsibly bred, ethically raised animals. Whether you're looking for a new companion, starting a breeding project, or anything in between, Nick has you covered. Unlimited Exotic Pets, keeping and breeding quality without limitations. Love reptiles? Don't miss this. If you're passionate about reptiles, amphibians, and everything cold-blooded, Reptiles magazine is a must-have. Each issue is packed with expert care tips, stunning photography, and the latest news in the reptile world. Whether you're a seasoned herpetologist or just starting your reptile journey, this magazine has something for you. Subscribe today and stay informed on the best ways to care for your scaly friends. For only $14.99 a year, you can step outside your algorithm and get exposure to things that you wouldn't normally see or learn about. My family reads Reptiles magazine, and you should too. Visit subscribe.reptilesmagazine.com to get started. This is the Expert and the Idiot podcast. If you like the show and you'd like to support us, there's a link to our Patreon in the description below. Some benefits include getting access to new episodes up to a month in advance. There's also links to USARK and USARK Florida. If you're not already a member, please sign up. Enjoy the show. All right, welcome to episode 96 of The Expert and the Idiot. Today I'm talking to John Ritchie, aka Johnny Venom. And yeah, man, I'm excited to talk to you about just all the cool stuff you work with, all the inverts and everything. I recently got into inverts thanks to our mutual friend Phil King. He sent me a box of what do I have? I have Haiti and he sent me Mexican red rump tarantula and an Asian forest scorpion, and I've had a curly hair for a little while, so I'm just kind of recently getting back into the inverts.
Oh yeah, that's awesome.
So what's your story? How did you get into everything that you're into, and how did you end up, working at Nerd and everything?
All right. So originally me starting into animals was typical like ADHD kid, hyperactive, didn't really fit in with too many people because I want to talk more about animals. I found animals more intriguing than humans. And then I wanted to be that person that was like, oh, you can't do this, and I could do this. So I'd be like, yeah, prove them wrong. Not saying I don't have a good friend group. I do have a good friend group, but it was just something I did when I was growing up. And then with Nerd, I had a friend that had brought me up to here, and I just clicked with. I originally actually didn't click with Kevin at all, and then Kevin, like literally, fell in love with me with handling and my passion for reptiles and stuff through a mutual friend of Kevin's, which is one of the veteran venomous keepers here, because he brought me into the room to show me a bunch of the venomous that was there. And their room to working with the venomous was not that big at the time. Then they upgraded it to that big, long facility downstairs for display purposes. but he saw me handling everything and talked to Kevin about it. And then Kevin was interested. And then my relationship with Kevin grew from there.
Hmm. Can you give me an example of proving people wrong when you mention that?
I would have to say it's just like handling of animals that you think wouldn't be like typically handled would be typically originally one of my main things was I was known as a free handler for free handling venomous snakes. And I do not post it currently at all because I'm sponsored by a company, and I don't push it at all because the simple fact of the matter is, yes, it's a double-edged sword you sit on. It depends on which side you're on. No matter which way you go, it could be good or it can be bad. So it's like a fine line you ride there, and I don't wish to ruin it for anybody or anybody in the hobby with how everything is going now. And I don't need to prove to anyone, like with my animals' temperaments or anything, just to show, haha, I did it.
Hmm.
Like they're
So
good.
So were you handling like spiders that people were saying like, hey, that's medically significant, and you should never touch those. And you were like, well, actually I can.
Yes, I was, but it was like different things a long time ago. Originally, when I first got sponsored by a company, it was Venom Life Gear. They liked the way I presented myself, and I told the guy, I'm like, "Hey, you do know I'm known as a free handler." He goes, "I know that." He goes, "But I like the way you present yourself. I like how you are. All I ask is, from this day forward, please don't post any more pictures of it. Do not push it anymore." And respectfully, I said yes. And then some of my old photos got brought up to them, and they stuck by my side, and they still stick by my side because I agreed not to post any new ones or post or push any new ones of that. But there is a certain place and a certain time for that skill to work for you. Like a lot of the natives use no tools at all to remove or use them for rituals. But to just simply handle and do it for fun, I wouldn't advise it at all.
Okay. So yeah, that was kind of my question. So for you specifically, what is the argument for free handling? Because that the argument against it is obvious, right? Like it could potentially, put you in a bad place. It could incur a lot of hospital fees. It could, all these other things, right? Potentially death.
There is quite a few repercussions for it. Yes, there is death. Yes, there is like hospital fees. Yes, there is the endangerment of other people. Also, the fact of the matter is like anti-venom is not as readily available as everybody thinks it is, like for certain species. And it just puts at risk for people who do educational purposes of animals at risk, because if you take that anti-venom and then they won't be able to get anti-venom in time for, say, emergency worker or emergency responder, like going into someone's house and they get hit by it without knowing, or zookeepers.
Hmm. So yeah, it seems like you've kind of thought all that through. So why? So when you do it, what is the purpose for you? Why? What makes you think like like are you measuring it out? It's not just with any animal, right? It has to be with. Is it with specific animals?
Originally, I would say it was something of me trying to figure out if I can unlock a side of an animal that no one else would see. And then it turned into everyone thinking it was like, hooray, look, I can do this. And it wasn't that.
Hmm.
But I don't look down on anybody that does it like for doing it, because there is an art to doing it. And then there's also the like, I guess would be the gloating factor of doing it, because yes, there is situations that you would have to use that, but to do it just to do it is not great.
Some people, it seems like they do it on social media just to make people's skin crawl. Like that's kind of the vibe I get, where it's just like just to, I guess for likes or for views, and I feel like that has to be the worst reason to do it.
I agree, because it puts yourself in danger, puts your snake in danger, puts your hobby in danger. Um, I was one of those kids years ago, but I've grown out of it. And I've seen like the positive, I've seen the negative of it. And either way, there's no way of winning with it.
Yeah. I mean, working with venomous animals in captivity is dangerous regardless, right?
Correct.
No matter what, there's no way around that. Have you had any really close calls with hot animals?
I have not had any really close calls with hot animals at all, except for accidentally when I was out hiking and looking for rattlesnakes, and I put my hand out. And when I saw one and I put my hand out, I literally put my hand almost on top of another timber rattlesnake.
Damn.
But
Wow.
that's that. But like otherwise, not really, because I don't try to put myself at risk anymore.
What about centipedes? Are they like medically significant? How do you feel about where? I mean, they're super cool. I kind of want one. I'm not gonna lie, but man, those things they seem pretty terrifying. Are they? In your experience of working with them, are they fairly easy to work with, or are they as dangerous as I think they are?
Some species are fairly easy to work with, some are not. Like, so your typical island species are a lot less defensive and reactive as opposed to your Asian species. The Asian species are a lot more reactive and defensive, and their venom's a little bit more potent too, um, than like the island species. I'd say the island species are a lot easier to work with, but to say working with them, it is like it's a learning factor because sometimes like you have to like, I guess it would be considered Kevin socialization. Like you have to like like not distemper, what's the word I'm thinking of? You have to,
Like
it's like how you break a
boy,
horse, like how horses get like turned bulletproof, and you have to desensitize. There we go. There's the word.
okay.
Desensitize them. So a lot of their reactions is on touch, feel, vibration, smell. And if they get associated with a certain smell, touch, vibration, or whatnot, they will learn. They're not exactly dumb. They will learn. And sometimes, if you notice when you're handling a centipede, it'll come up your arm, it'll test bite you. It'll literally take its force appeals open and they'll take their jaws and they'll test a pinch. Like it'll pinch, it'll puncture your skin a little bit, and they'll be like, oh, you're
Oh,
not food.
seriously?
Yeah.
And that's happened to you?
Yeah.
And there's no venom or anything?
Nope.
Dude, that's wild. So it's actually possible to socialize or desensitize a centipede.
Technically, yes.
That's crazy. So can you kind of walk me through how you're doing that with a centipede?
For them to tolerate me, a lot of times I test the waters and see how reactive they are. Sometimes when you touch them, they flail their back terminals at you. And then sometimes some centipedes have a temperament that you can literally just put your hand down and they'll walk right on you. But sometimes when they'll go walk right on you, they'll be hungry and they'll do a food bite and they'll bite you and then they'll let go. Does it get venom in you? Yes. But does it kill you? Not necessarily, unless you're anaphylactic.
Wow. What how does their venom work? What does it do? Is it like a bee sting or
It's more than a bee sting because their venom literally attacks your potassium, calcium, and sodium ion channels, which is your nervous system. So its main design is to instill pain. And then your body's natural reaction is after you get bit is to do the swelling, which you get the up your arm. What's the word for that? I forget the word for it right now. But like it'll swell up. But a lot of times centipede bites aren't deadly to humans. It's just painful. Like you'll be swollen for like a week, itchy.
wow.
But I did find out in Hawaii when I got bit by Scolopendra subspinipes, that they have some cytotoxin in their venom because my finger melted a little bit.
Because my finger melted a little bit. Oh, dude, that's terrifying.
It wasn't crazy bad. Like you can see a little bit of it at the tip.
Wow. Yeah, it definitely got melty. That's crazy. What about have you ever been bitten by any tarantulas?
No, I haven't been bitten by any tarantulas. Actually, I'm wrong. My first pet tarantula, which was supposed to be the great beginner species, I had a rose hair tarantula, and no, everyone knows rose hairs for being docile, the staple tarantula for the beginner. That tarantula ran up my arm and bit me about 19 times.
Where? Just
Just
up your arm?
just up my whole forearm, just like bang, 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 bang.
Wow. What happened? Just
Nothing,
swelling?
nothing at all. It was mild. Like the first bite was like venom, but it was like mild sting. That's it. Nothing else. Nothing crazier. Nothing more.
Wow. Okay. Now, how do you feel about, so like I have these purple earth tigers, right, that I got from Phil.
Uh huh.
Are those is that something you would advise against handling?
I would
Would
advise against doing that because they're another Asian species. Like they're Indo-Asian species. Those ones tend to have more potent venom and tend to have a slightly more defensive demeanor. Um, so I would advise that.
yeah. Okay. What about the ogre faced spiders? You're working a lot with those, right?
Yes, I've been working with Marshall's Arachnids for Project Safety Net. The ogre face spider is a venomous spider, but they are not medically significant and they do not tend to bite at all. Like they literally play dead. They'll
Hmm.
drop out of your hand before anything. If you pay attention to fear to fascination, I was just recently at Tinley with them, and he said he was afraid of spiders. And I opted for the ogre face spider to be the first spider he interacts with because I know they're going to either play dead or not bite him or jump off him.
Hmm. That's awesome. And so are those kind of catching on as like a popular pet spider?
We are trying to. A lot of people are like wanting to interact with them and see them because they're a super unique species because they got two forward-facing eyeballs and they have insanely good vision and have a unique hunting tactic. They make nets instead of making a whole entire web, and they'll sit there with a net and hold it like this and then throw it on their prey item.
That's pretty awesome. So what about interacting with the monitors and the crocodilians at Nerd? How do you approach that from a safety standpoint?
Safety standpoint, you have to learn how the animal moves and what they do, their characteristics and anatomy, and work with that and see if an animal's willing to tolerate you and know your boundaries with them. Sometimes you do get bit and it happens. Sadly, well, ironically, well, it is sad though too. I got bit by one of my favorite monitors I worked with was Finrear. And I made the mistake and didn't realize he was like a class one or a class two animal, like a primate or a tiger or a lion. That if you change a feature about yourself, they're used to pattern, habit.
Mm,
So if you wear the same clothes in there, they're used to the same clothes. If you wear a hat, they're used to a hat. If you have a beard, they're used to a beard. So I shaved my beard, didn't have my hat on. I went in to interact with Finrear like I usually do. Touched his tail, he whipped and he spun around, grabbed my thumb. He let go. But as with all animals that have that much teeth, there is damage. But he bit and let go. He realized it was me as soon as he tasted me, but he was startled. He was confused. It's just like a human. So if you have a child, you have a beard all the time. And this child's like a toddler, 5 years old. You shave that beard and you walk out the bathroom and say hi to your kid. Your kid's going to be spooked out for a few minutes to maybe even an hour. And then he's going to realize, oh, it's dad. So
yeah.
it's the same concept with them. But a lot of people demonize these animals for these accidents because it's not normal. They're exotics. Now, if it was a dog, cat, bird, or a gerbil, we'd wipe it off and be like, oh, that happens. Bad day. So I
Yeah.
hate the fact that people like will demonize these animals because they had a bad day. Accidents happen. They have a lot of teeth. Am I afraid of him? No. Do I still work with him? Yes. I went after I got my stitches, went down there and started petting him and showing him that I wasn't afraid of him.
Wow.
He was very
How
timid. He was very timid when I first came back. Like he was shy and timid.
why do you think that is?
He's pretty sentient. Like he knew he did something wrong and he felt bad. That's the only thing I can guess.
Wow. That's wild. Do you think did were you like coming up behind him? Was there something that looking
No,
back that
it
you
wasn't anything at all. It was my normal interactions with him. And the only thing I did wrong, as I said, I didn't have a hat on and I didn't have my beard.
wow. And that was just enough. He just
Yep.
didn't
It was
recognize you.
literally a simple touch like this on the back of the tail. Like you tell him, hey, I'm here, buddy, because I saw his eyes dilating, which means he's thinking. And he literally, within a second, snapped, spun around, grabbed me. Does these things happen? Yes. Look what happened to Tom Crutchfield. Tom Crutchfield's absolutely adored monitor bit him, and that thing you
Yeah.
can literally hand feed.
What like how significant was the bite? Was it pretty bad?
I ended up with 14 stitches external, 3 lacerations, 2 bone lacerations, and 1 went all the way into the marrow.
Holy shit, dude.
I have a thumb still.
Wow. And it's already all healed up?
Yeah, I have a bit of nerve damage that I might have to go for an operation for because he severed through a nerve and he detached like the
Damn.
inside muscle, but they reattached that. But like, I have almost all my mobility. It's still stiff, but
Man.
it happens.
Whew.
It's what we deal with. It's what like we sign up for. It's not the animal's fault. It's like literally it's technically would be my fault because I decided to go in the cage.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you think that that everyday regular Joes should be able to get animals like croc monitors, or do you think that it should be specialized individuals that have had a lot of experience?
That's a very trick question. And I would say I wouldn't advise everyday people to have them, but if you have experience and you know the needs and like the mentality and how these animals think and how they are, I'd say go for it. But like one of the things is it's a very like I'll say it again, it's a double-edged sword on everything with the hobby because you have people just hoard animals. You have people that just get animals just to have use for the animals. You have people who have animals that just have the animals. And then you have people who are actually passionate hobbyists who take care of the animals, people who breed them, people who want to have them, and people want to like reintroduce them into the wild. So in turn, you have your good side and you have your bad side. The whole entire hobby as a whole, if we did it right, we're basically a Noah's Ark for the whole entire like animal kingdom.
Yeah. What do you how do you deal with all the, because you're constantly going to events and everything, like how do you deal with that constant you're always in motion, so like you have your job at Nerd, right? And
Mhm.
then you're always like on weekends, it seems like every other weekend you're going to some different event or expo or
It's
grand
like
opening or
Yeah, it's like once a month I try to go somewhere. I have a thing where I work with my boss and I tell him I'm going to be doing this and this, and I'll work my days and I'll have my days off allotted into so I can do my expos and stuff. But also Kevin's very lenient with what I do because he knows I do that and he's very supportive. He's a great supportive boss.
nice. And you actually live there at Nerd?
Yes, I'm one of the caretakers with Kevin. I am essentially Kevin's roommate.
Wow. That's incredible. So you're always on site with these animals.
Basically, yes.
Wow.
So in case
Now,
in case we have an emergency, we have to do something. Someone's here. We take care of them. Yes.
sure. Now what about working with the crocodilians? Would you say they're more or less laid back than monitors?
They're almost exactly the same as monitors, I would say, but like the monitors have a little bit of more of an intelligence.
Okay. And what about the you actually have, what animals are your actual pet reptiles? So what would be like if you were to leave Nerd and move somewhere else, what would actually be coming with you?
All my animals you've seen on my Instagram beforehand. Like I still have we have my cobras and stuff, my rattlesnakes, my spiders, my centipedes. Fenrir is not mine. Fenrir is Kevin's. Bubba and Big Daddy are Kevin's. The crocodilians. A lot of the animals. If something is not my animal, I will state it on my Instagram or my post that it is not my animal. It is an animal I
Yeah.
work with that is owned by someone else. I don't take ownership of other people's animals. I will work with them, yes, because I take pride in socializing. Because Big Daddy was not that friendly at all to people. He was known for being chompy. And in about a year, I got him down to that puppy dog guy that I can walk up and pet. And he comes to the door for me to pet him now.
Mm. Well, I have a blood python that she doesn't strike, but I can tell that she's really not comfortable with me touching her or handling her. She kind of huffs and puffs a lot. Can you give me some advice for socializing her and trying to, like it's been months now, and I've been trying to desensitize her, but it's kind of it just feels like it's not going in the right direction.
The only thing that's going to say with blood pythons are a little bit iffy. Kevin is like the whisperer of blood pythons, but like, and also so is Adam V Centipede, one of my friends. He's really good at blood pythons, but you are going to take a bite from them. Like, it just happens. But as you know, with your blood python, you go in behind, you pick them up nicely from underneath, and you just don't go overhead with them because anything overhead is considered like a predatory response to them. So they think they're going to become a prey item. And I would just take it day by day and just take it in spurts of like handling, and don't like force anything too much. Like, don't put your hands near its head at the very beginning. Like, hold it and just walk around with it. It's going to huff and puff for a little bit, and then just do it for like 15-minute sessions until you get the huff and puffing gone. Then push your luck a little bit more and go forward a little bit more and like go underneath the chin and pet underneath the chin. Just don't go by the sides of the mouth, which you're going to get a reaction of it swinging sideways.
Okay. And so essentially it's just desensitizing the animal.
It's desensitizing within your comfortability. Like, if you're afraid, wear a glove.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm definitely not afraid of her. It's just, sometimes I wonder, like, man, is she always going to be like this, or is she going to eventually come around?
It'll eventually come around. Each individual is different. I would advise, like, just take it slow. Don't rush it. It takes time and patience and even a little bit of risk, but you know what's going to happen if you get hit by them. It's just going to literally grab you and let go.
Yeah. All right. So let's talk about your cobras. What's it like having pet cobras?
They're fun animals. They're pretty intelligent. I don't pull them out just for fun. Only time I pull them out is, you'll see, I don't post a lot of footage of my cobras because I pull them out and then I do maintenance with them. I do maintenance, pull them out, film a little bit with them while I'm doing maintenance, do a health check, put them back in.
Okay. And how, when you're pulling them out, are they always keyed up and ready for a fight, or do they mellow out with time?
Mine are all used to the routine. They meld out with time. When they were younger and they're babies, they were like on defense the whole entire time. Prime example, Khaleesi, my monocle cobra, you would swear she's a corn snake because you just hook her and move her and she doesn't even hood. On rare occasions, I can find an item that'll make her hood, and that's about it.
Oh, okay. So when you're like, cause I see the stuff on your social media of her, and she's, she looks like super intense and all hooded up and everything. And is that if she's in that mood, or if she's hooding up at a certain object, do you just take advantage of that opportunity to make a reel or something?
She's hooding up at a certain object.
Okay. Interesting. So with just you and a hook, she's totally calm.
Yep. Kevin can even, there's some videos of Kevin interacting with her. Hold on 1 second.
Something running around in there?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. So what about the nerd snapping turtle, Bubba?
All right. So yes. Sorry. I have to drink something really quick. Alrighty. So,
because I mean that is a monstrous turtle, and you guys are hand feeding it.
Bubba's about 130 pounds.
Oh my God.
Yes. The cool part about Bubba's about 25 years old to 30 years old. Not 25 to 30, 130 to 125 years old. Bubba's been in possession Bubba's been in possession with Kevin for about 25 years. Kevin's been taking great care of Bubba. Bubba got an upgrade to his tank. Bubba looks much larger in his tank than he is. Like, I can fit in his tank with him comfortably. Like, not standing up, I'm on my knees and stuff, but like I can lay down, splay out in his tank. And we gave him this big tank, and now he likes to interact with people. Like, he runs around like the tank looking at people. His favorite thing to do is stare at kids staring at him in the tank. And it's crazy to see his thought process, because Bubba knows the difference between hands and food. But there is times when he thinks food and hands are the same thing. You just got to know those reactions, because he is a predatory creature. So he's going to enact on predatory response, and you'll be the prey. It happens. It's the same thing with, like, if you passed away and your cat was in your house, your cat would eat you. It's a predatory response. Yeah. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. The cat's going to eat you.
How do you guys socialize a gigantic, really old snapping turtle? like Bubba.
Positive interactions. One of the greatest things that Kevin's come up with is his threads of trust. So what he does is he shows positive interactions with the animal. It's just like a human. So if you've seen me outside without knowing Phil, a lot of people see me, they think I'm going to be some arrogant, douchey a-hole.
Yeah.
But when you find out from a person firsthand, you can't judge a book by its cover, because I'm very empathetic. I'm very outgoing, curious, and supportive of everybody.
Yeah. It's true. Yeah, you've been I mean, ever since I made contact with you, you've been nothing but helpful and kind, and yeah, but you have the presence, right? That you could potentially be, somebody that's like
I would never want to be that person, because growing up, like I said, I had friends, but not too many friends growing up until I started doing BMX bikes professionally, riding there and traveling, doing the reptiles, and that opened a whole world for me. Um, but I don't want to be that person, because I was on the other side of the fence before that.
yeah. Yeah, for sure. For sure. It's so easy to lose sight of that too. What is it that fuels your passion for reptiles so much, that they are so much of your life, that you're literally living at Nerd, and it's like it's your entire life. It's who you are. Like what do you think it is that drives that passion?
Something to do with exotic animals and exotic creatures that like literally calms me. If you met me in person, I talk a million miles an hour. I have, I believe, social anxiety. So like if I'm around people, I seem like I'm liking it, but in turn, I'm actually like fighting myself inside, because I'll just talk and talk and talk and talk and talk and talk because it distracts me.
I I'm the same way. Rob from Rob's Creeping It Real.
Yeah.
He had
Rob
this.
Christian. Rob Christian used
Yeah,
to
yeah.
Rob used to live at Nerd too. Rob's a great dude. Great guy.
He is. He is. And I met him at Daytona, and he had this like thermal imaging scanner.
Mm-hmm.
And my social anxiety was so bad that he scanned my hand and it was blue. Like you couldn't even see that there was any heat signature on my hand at all because of social anxiety. So I feel you for sure. So how do you deal with doing events and everything?
I know events are essential. It's good to see people, get out and see people, because keep in mind, I do sit here and I'm usually here doing things. And then that's my way of going out and interacting with people. So it's like a battery. So like I have a battery of like socialization with people, and then it gets kind of drained, and then like go back at it. So it recharges as I'm here, and then I go back at it, because I'm not constantly with people.
Interesting. Do you feel really drained after those events?
Not too bad. Like it does feel draining after some events, because at events I try to cram in as much things as possible. So you'll see me at an event dealing with people, and then last day of the event I'll be out as soon as possible, and I'll be either out herping someplace finding animals, or exploring something with my girlfriend, like going to the museum. Like we were at Tinley, we did the Chewy build off on the first day. I got that done, interacted with a bunch of people on the first day. Second day, I did a bunch of interactions with people. Me and Dakota ran around. And then on Sunday, we said goodbye to everybody. Like we were there for 2 hours. And then we left and we went to Shed Aquarium and we went to the Field Museum. And if you're ever in Chicago, I advise you go to Shed Aquarium and Field Museum. Absolutely beautiful, like establishments. And we only had like 2 hours at the Shed Aquarium and an hour at the Field Museum. The Field Museum, you've seen us running through like night at the museum looking for Sue, like the dinosaur. That was our goal. We found the dinosaur. There's so many things there that can distract you. I want to see the whole museum. I only saw like a fifth.
Oh, wow. What was your favorite thing at the museum? Was it Sue?
Sue. Actually, I can't, yeah, I'd say Sue, but it'd be all the articulations of the fossils. They are incredible, the whole display. And Sue, if you never knew it or not, that display, I'll have to send you video footage of it. It lights up and they highlight the injuries, and like it looks like
Oh, wow.
you know how Oogie Boogie's like house had the flip on the switch? on Nightmare Before
Yeah.
Christmas. So there'd be one thing, and then when they flip the switch, it goes glow and shows different things. They figure
Yeah.
out a way to light up and do a light show with different colored lights that lit up different portions of the bones all over the whole entire skeleton and immortalize it as like a moving element.
Wow. Did you had like would is it true that you had arachnophobia, that you had a fear of spiders?
Yes.
And how did you overcome that? Just by forcing yourself into things that make you uncomfortable?
So I do things like what I do on Instagram, and it helps with people. Like if you notice my reels, I'll put a spider in my hand and I'll release it and put spooky music on it. But then I'll also give facts about spiders to people and show that they're like not out to hurt them or do anything to them. Like it,
Yeah.
one of my things is like best way of explaining it is fear is the lack of knowledge, and then knowledge is respect.
Hmm.
So when you understand something, you no longer fear it. You become like Joey from Fear to Fascination has the best name, Fear to Fascination. So that's exactly what I did. So if you don't check out those guys, like Las Vegas vibe comedian. I'll hook you up with him if you want to try to get him on here. He'd be a great
Yeah.
person because he's your average Joe that like came to a reptile expo and is like, oh, I love this. I'm gonna come and make this my whole entire thing. So he's not knowledgeable, but he's trying to learn.
Hmm.
So you get genuine reactions out of him. I scared the living bejesus out of him with an ogre face spider though.
So if you see a spider in your bedroom or something, like would your old reaction been to have whack it with a shoe?
No,
And
I've
now
never I've
you
never whacked him. I never wanted to kill creatures. I've always just was cautious.
Yeah.
Like I'd have one land on me, I'd just go like that and fling it off of me.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And so cuz like the other day there was a wolf spider in my kid's bedroom,
Was it a wolf
and
spider or was it a fishing spider?
I'm
People get
that's a
them
good
confused.
question.
So wolf spiders are the smaller ones that are like about that big
Uh-huh.
and they have stripes on them.
Okay.
And the fishing spiders are the ones that are like about that big and they
Definitely a wolf spider then.
because the fishing spiders people call them wolf spiders, they're brindled like a dog. So they're like
Okay.
camouflage like woodwork.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
I'm down in Florida, and you
Well, you
can
guys got fishing spiders. So in Florida, what part of Florida?
Southwest Florida, like south of Tampa.
Oh, okay. I'll have to come visit you one of these times when I'm down there in the Keys and Homestead.
Oh heck yeah. Yeah, I'm like if you know where Iguana Land is, I'm like 30 minutes from there.
Oh, that's not too bad. You might have came in clutch to one of these. Oh, well, no, Tampa's too far away because Tampa's like 3.5 hour drive to Orlando Airport.
Yeah. Yeah. The so I found the spider in my kid, was freaking out. He's crying. He's got the spider in his room. And I'm not gonna lie, normally I probably would have killed it, because I don't want my kid to be worried about it being in his room, but instead I just went over and I kind of put my hand in front of it and it came up onto my hand and I just brought it outside. And it's not like it was aggressive or wanted to bite me, but in your mind, or at least in my mind, I always think like, oh, that could, bite
No,
me.
the only reason they're gonna bite you is because you're gonna see this giant hand coming over you like this. It'd be
Yeah.
like if I came up to you and I came behind you and you seen my big hands come behind you like that, you're instantly gonna turn around if you didn't know who I was and swing.
Yeah.
It's a predator, it's like a prey response, and my response to you it'd be predatory. So
Yeah.
what's happening is the animal's interacting with its natural instinct. And a lot of times a spider doesn't care if we live or die. Like they'll live on, do their thing, keep making their web. We can be living there. All we do is construct the perfect environments for them that are the perfect niches and houses for them. So they're like, oh, cool, I'm going to move in there. Or a lot of times when you see a spider running around your house, it's a male looking for a female to complete his life.
Mm.
Because shortly after he does that, he's dead.
What about huntsman spiders? They freak me out, man.
Oh,
They're
dude,
so fast.
dude, I love huntsmen. Speaking of huntsmen, here you go. If you look,
Oh, you got one in there? Oh
They're
my God. What do you got? 6?
5.
Jeez.
These are Heteropoa David Bowiei. They are spiders that are named after David Bowie and to immortalize him. And they are literally the second spider that I got to try to get over my fear. Because the first one was a Viculara, which is a pink toe. And they're like, oh, it'll be fine for you. Little did I know that my first spider was going to be a jumping nightmare. So it flew up my arm and leaped up in the air, landed on my hat. I went to grab it, jumped off that, landed on my arm here, hit my wall, ran up my wall, was on top of my ceiling. I was like, worst thing ever. So then I fell in love with the David Bowie, and the guy flipped the lid and showed it to me and everything. It was fine. He didn't do anything with it. He touched it, didn't move. I got home, flipped the lid, looked at it, touched it, it flew up. And as soon as I looked at it, it was gone. It ran across my chest, up my face, down my face, on my arm. And then next thing you know it was on my wall and somewhere on my wall on my ceiling.
Ah.
And then I literally lost it. And then that thing lived in my room. And I can see it at nighttime fly across the wall because my TV light would glow its eyeballs and I could see it fly across the wall. And it lived in my room for a good 2 years.
Oh my God, dude. That's terrifying.
No, it's not, because it doesn't care. It's not going to interact with you. It's not trying to interact with you. If you cross paths with the animal, it's by happenstance, because it doesn't care. It's just looking for food. It's trying to complete its life cycle. It's going to do food, water, shelter, reproduce. That's all it's trying to do. Humans are not on the menu. Humans are not in their whole entire thing. They're probably like, oh my gosh, a giant came after me and tried to attack me.
But what about don't you feel like panic when they're running all over you and you don't know where they are?
No,
I do.
not anymore. Like I'll have to take you out to Florida, and when I'm out there, I'll grab one of those giant golden orb weavers out of the web, and
Yeah.
I'll pull it down and let you handle it and let it interact with you. They are amazing, and then we can put it right back in the web, and she'll go right back to her merry way and making her web.
Yeah, you got to come down here and help me get over my fear of spiders.
Dude, there's so many in Florida. Also, if you see a black widow or a brown widow in Florida, they're usually outside your house. Just take them out and put them and leave them there. They're good mosquito killers.
Yeah.
Only thing is show your kid what they are and explain to them not to crush them or squeeze them, because your kid will get sick and feel like your kid has like muscle pains, aches, asthma, like stuff like that, feeling like a flu, but it's not going to kill your kid. There has not been a single death since 1983. But I would definitely take your kid to the hospital if they get bit by that.
What would they do for that? Do you know?
There's the possibility of them giving antivenom. They do have antivenom for black widows.
That's wild.
The likelihood of needing it is very slim. Like, for example, before we were going to Hawaii, my girlfriend was doing she lives in Arizona. She went to go into a dumpster and throw her trash away. And when she went there, she grabbed something, it bit her. She felt it and she looked, and it was this massive widow. She brought her with her and everything. She was gorgeous, like huge widow. And she's like, okay, nothing happened to me. Then she was in pain, like nausea, stomach cramps, like headache. And she was like, this is bad. But she didn't die from it. She just literally had pain for 2 to 3 days. And we went to Hawaii.
Wow. Now she handles some hot spiders on the regular to begin with, right?
The widow, yes, and her pokies, yes. But it's like, the thing is though, pokies are usually flighty. They're super flighty. All the animals are gonna be, their natural instinct is to run, get away. The problem is when you try to stop them from running and then you accidentally pin them or something, then they attack.
Wow. Yeah, that's terrifying. What do you guys, working at Nerd and working with all the venomous and everything, what is your, what's your game plan if you were to get bit by a venomous snake?
First thing to do is identify which snake it is, secure the snake, make sure it's fine, alert somebody that you got bit. Then you got to call Venom 1, which is down there in Florida. Call them, tell them what's going on, and then they'll do the rest of the work. And then you got to go to the appropriate hospital as fast as possible and then get taken care of. But the goal is not to be bit or put yourself in a situation to be bit. Accidents can happen, but you try to avoid them at all times. Everything is done professionally and safely as possible. We don't pull the animals out to play. Like I said, it's only for maintenance. There's no reason to pull out an animal. Otherwise, we'd have educational shows of pulling snakes out and showing people daily. But then that ups your risk of getting a bite. And that's not what he wants. Kevin just wants to show people that these animals are like something to admire, like interact, like see and learn about, because humans are very tactile. So and empathetic. So if they see an animal like that and they get some knowledge of them, see them in person instead of just seeing a picture, it's a lot more likely that they're going to want to protect them in the future.
Yeah, I've run into cottonmouths in Florida, you know, and
if you tell me you chase you, I am not going anywhere with you.
No, but they are defensive, you know, like they do their display,
and it'll coil up and then sit there with its mouth open like this.
Yes.
And it won't chase you. It'll just do that and just like dart its head backwards.
Yeah.
But my cottonmouth is not that way. My cottonmouth is very reactive, and it'll sit with its mouth open like this, but it wags its tail really fast.
Oh, wow. Interesting. Yeah, they let you know, to stay away. I thought it was kind of adorable, the display that they put on, it wasn't, it's not like you're interacting with this terrifying monster that wants to hurt you. It's more worried about you for sure. Running into a copperhead in Georgia, that thing could not have cared less. I mean, it just wanted to get away from me. I couldn't even, it was hard to get a picture of it.
Yep. They rely on camouflage. And the second they realize their camouflage is gone, they're like, oh no.
Yeah.
And they run away. So that's the best way of explaining to people, like the reaction. So you hear a lot of times that a young snake is more venomous than an adult snake.
Mm-hmm.
That's false. It's the same potency. It's just that the young snake is more likely to use what it has as venom than an adult snake, because an adult snake has knowledge. They gain knowledge that they know that venom's valuable. They only use it for certain situations. And the best way of like giving you an example of it is a situation of, say, at your house in Florida. So in Florida, you have the right to shoot people if they're on your property, right?
Yes.
Okay. So you teach your child that where the gun is, okay? You teach the child, your child knows where this gun is. You say you're going away. Your child hears somebody in the house. The lights are off. He grabs that gun. And the child says, move or I'll shoot you. If you move, I'll shoot you. The person moves. And the kid unloads the whole entire gun after he fires the first shot and keeps unloading the whole thing. And he turns on the light. It was you holding a bag in your mouth and you couldn't speak. Your child shot you because he couldn't understand the situation. But if it was an adult, the adult would flick the light on and warn the person.
Yeah. The fear gets, that's a terrifying scenario.
But I know it's a terrifying snenario, but it's the best way to have people empathize and understand.
Sure. Yeah,
it's like the same situation of you tell a kid, and everyone thinks I'm crazy for doing it. I'll tell a kid, like, the reason why we don't see any more of these giant animals is because humans like to kill them. And the best way of empathizing with it is telling them, hey, you love your grandma, right? They go, yeah. I go, how old's your grandma? They go, grandma's going to be 88 in like 4 months. I'm like, cool. I go, I'm going to track grandma on her daily routine, and grandma's going to go to church every Sunday, or grandma's going to go to bingo, or grandma's going to go out with her friends to dinner. I go, I'm going to follow that routine. And then one day when grandma's crossing the road, I'm going to take my gun and I'm going to fire a shot at grandma. I'm going to hit her.
Johnny.
Yeah, but listen, I'm going to hit her. She's going to get wounded. She's going to roll around on the ground. I'm going to watch her do that. And then I'm going to track her. And then I'm going to grab grandma by the head of the hair. I'm going to hold her up, take a picture with her, and take a couple pictures with her with my friends, post it online. And then I'm just going to discard grandma. And the kid goes, oh my gosh, why would you do that? I go, it's upsetting, right? They go, yes, it's very upsetting. I go, it's the same thing with these animals. These animals take 100 and some years to get to their size, and we just go and shoot them for fun.
Yeah.
I go, we don't empathize with it because of that. But if I give it to your grandma, which you grew up with, who's something you love, you feel passion, you feel empathize. So you convert to that. And the kids are like, oh no, I don't want to do that.
Yeah. So are you a vegan? There's no way you're a vegan.
No, I'm not vegan. I can't be, man. I can't. Like, it sucks. Like, I'm actually battling right now some weird thing with my body, that my body is actually allergic to the gym.
Really?
Yes, I have what they call, I believe, is physical urticaria. So what happens is when my body temperature rises in my body fights it and I go anaphylactic.
What?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it was due to, I believe, dryer sheets. Originally, they thought it was centipedes because I was being bit by centipedes, and I haven't been bit by a centipede in like 3 months. But previously, I had an anaphylactic reaction to Scolopendra mutilans. But the reason why I think I went anaphylactic is because I put my body to a shock. Because no normal person gets bit 10 times.
Yeah.
And it wasn't on purpose being bit 10 times. So what happened was I had them on carpet, and I hold these things all the time. Like if you saw at Pomona, I had, I think, 12 or 18 in my hand at the same time, because the species isn't known for being mean. And for some reason, they did not like scented shampoo, not like on your hand, like for hand soap. And it was like a watermelon scent. I picked it up, and I had two of them in my hand, and it nailed me. And then the other one went to the ground. So I went and I grabbed it and I pinned it, and I picked it up, and I still had the other one in my hand biting me, because it's not unbearable. So I'm being bit. I'm like, bit me, bit me, bit me again. I'm like, oh, this one bit me. This bit me. And I got them into the cup, but they bite so fast, you don't even realize it, because they have all those legs to hold you. And it's like, tick, tick, tick. And when I got bit, I was like, this is painful. And it was to the point where I didn't know which one of my fingers got bit on both my hands.
Jeez.
But it was just like a pain. You can describe it as like someone slammed your hand in a door. And that's the pain I felt for like an hour. But then it went up, and I felt it go up into my lymph node. My lymph node swelled. So my lymph node, my lymphatic system, was doing what it should. It was absorbing any toxins or poisons that came into the system.
Yeah.
But I think I overloaded my lymphatic system. And what it did was it dumped it all to my skin. And then when my skin got it, my skin then raised up and went into welts. And I went,
jeez.
I went anaphylactic. But I took 2 Benadryl and I was fine. So fast forward a week, I went to my friend Dritz's house, which Phil frequents a lot. And Dritz has a bunch of tarantulas, and I'm extremely allergic to tarantulas. So I'm like itching like this, and I'm itching. And a whole week goes by, I'm still itching, thinking I'm like, got the tarantulas from Dritz's house. I'm like, okay. I'm like, this is not good. I'm still itching. Turns out I had dryer sheets. Someone used bounce dryer sheets, and I'm highly allergic to bounce dryer sheets. And I was wearing clothes, and my bed was covered in the dryer sheet chemical. So it put my body into a histamine overload. So I was stepping in the ocean, looking for lobsters, tide pooling, turning beet red, swelling up. Like I'm looking like I'm sunburnt in 5 minutes. The wind was blowing on half my face. Half my body was swollen from the wind, from cold temperatures.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So you can't go in the gym and work out?
Oh, I have been going to the gym. I just started going back after 2 months. So what I do is I take 100 milligrams of Benadryl an hour before, and then I work out for maybe 4 or 5 sets, get them done, and then I flare up and rash up a little bit, and then I go down in like 10 minutes, and then I go back to working out and then go back.
Do you think that this is like a combination of centipede bites and the dryer sheets?
It's not the centipede bites, because the fun fact is in Hawaii, I got bit by that Scolopendra suspendinipes. And when I got bit, my girlfriend and I both went, and we were on alert, because I was having to go to the hospital either instantly or didn't have to go.
Yeah. What is so that's so you weren't allergic to the tarantulas?
Nope. But I'm not allergic to the centipedes. I swelled up. That's it. I literally swelled up to my arm right here.
Yeah.
Had the hand the size of a glove. I was going snorkeling. I was going herping, still finding more centipedes. I got smart and I got hemostats.
Wow.
But
so
I didn't go anaphylactic there. The only thing that happened was, like I said, this one was slightly cyto.
Yeah, melted a little bit.
Yep.
What's the biggest centipede you have?
I would have to say my whitebeards.
What's the Latin name for those?
Scolopendra suspendinipes, I believe.
Okay. And how big do they get?
Wait, hold on. Scolopendra. I think whitebeards are suspendinipes or they're Dahani. They're a Dahani, I believe.
Okay. And like, how big do they get? Like huge?
Well, 8 to 10 inches, but my biggest species is my Galapagos, and that can get like 12 to 14.
Whew.
That's the one
Are
that
they
Phil was
pretty
holding.
Okay. Are they pretty chill or
Yeah,
are they
like I said, the island giants are a little bit calmer.
okay? Interesting. So if I were to get a pet centipede, a like one of the bigger
I would go
giants
with
would
the island giants and go with them and then like work your way to it and see how they interact with you, like tongs touching them. You can take your finger and you can swipe on their back and like they're not gonna swing and grab you. Like if you put your hand in front of their terminals, it'll grab. But like if you just
Mhm.
touch like the back of them, they're not gonna do much.
Damn. What did so I before we were talking about the threads of trust, right? And we kind of
Yes.
got derailed. Can you walk me through building that kind of relationship with an animal and building those threads?
Oh yeah, I can definitely give that example for you. I'll use a species that is venomous and is considered a safe venomous animal. All right. So it's governed in different states differently. But beaded lizards, as you see in my videos of my beaded lizards. My beaded lizards, I'm going to do a YouTube video of socialization because my girlfriend got me. Sadly, my beaded lizard passed away. She
Oh,
got
I'm
me
sorry.
another one to replace Tetrates because Tetrates I love like that lizard. And I don't know what happened to it. It ended up getting a chronic regurg and didn't win its battle back. So essentially, it had bulimia.
Wow.
Um, and this little animal we got from Steve Angeli, he goes, it's well started. I believe it's a male. He goes, it will bite you though. And I'll put my hand up and like it'll like this and like very defensive. So I'd get it out slowly, have it on me, interacting with it, but I wouldn't do no movements like this. I just let it walk around, sniff around, walk, do that, and start like building trust to the point where you can actually touch it.
Hmm.
And then you get to the points where you can touch them and pet them underneath the chin. Once you pet them underneath the chin, you can get used to going over with your hands. So you're going to hold your hand flat and you're going to go over like this. And you know it's going to rear up and it's going to like get defensive, but you have to be ready for that. Because if you show a reaction to it, it's going to keep doing it. So
Hmm.
you build those positive interactions and then eventually you get more and more trust with the animal. But if you mess up, it takes you back tenfold. Then you got to start all over again.
Hmm. How would you classify a mess up?
A mess up would be like if you grabbed it and it's freaked out and then you grabbed it like this and you just gripped it up and like withheld
Oh,
it in one
okay.
place.
So if it bit at you, that's not a mess up, right? But if you grabbed it and you did something to control the animal, then you're breaking that trust.
Correct.
Okay.
So
So it being
you're gonna put the animal into a state of like contemplating if it should do anything again or not do anything again. Like it's like, oh, should I trust this guy? I don't know. If I do this again, he's gonna attack me again.
hmm. And does that work with like centipedes as well?
Centipedes are a little bit different. Like I think centipedes are more tuned to common things in their environment. So they adapt to sensations and stuff like that. I believe that's what they interact with. So like your sense and your smell is something in particular to them that they're used to. I've also noticed and have been noticing a trend that females do not get bit as much by centipedes as males do.
Huh. Why do you think that is?
I we don't know. I think it might be a certain smell, pheromone that they put off that like the centipedes find it like comfortable.
Wow.
It's very
Do you
interesting because like if you look up like centipede mommy or skunk M, they are females. And my girlfriend like Inspire Exotics, you'll see they're holding centipedes and they are not being bit by centipedes. And they
Yeah,
can take those centipedes and they can hand them to other people and they will get bit. And those are particularly males that usually get bit.
that's crazy. Do you think that your mindset and how calm you are going into an interaction with an animal, whether it be a snake or a lizard or anything, do you think that if you're tense and anxious, that it's going to make the animal tense and anxious?
Yes.
Because I've found that, like, if I'm interacting with like black racers, right? If I'm totally chill and I scoop under them, I just removed a couple from a meter box the other day at work, and I didn't get bit at all. And they were pretty laid back. And sometimes I wonder if it's just because I was calm and not scared.
What time of day were you doing that?
Probably 11 a.m.
Well, in Florida, 11 a.m., they were probably warmed up already.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
I was going to say, if they weren't warmed up, it might be that they were like cool. Like, so with racers up in the East here, like Northeast, once it hits about 11 a.m., depending on the day, like 7 a.m. would be the time you go to get racers, like first start of spring, because they'll come out to get the sun and they'll be very lethargic. But once it hits noon, they're like lightning bolts and they're fired up and charged up, and those things will light you up.
Damn. Yeah, I've been bitten. They're like a Rottweiler walking onto you. They'll shake their head around. But I was surprised at how calm these ones were. Like it was kind of, and I didn't know if that was just because I was calm, and I've even found that with my animals at my house. If I know something is usually defensive, if I go in there confidently and calmly, I seem to have a better interaction with the animal.
Very true. That if you notice, I also noticed that, like, if you've seen a couple of my videos, I grab black rat snakes and just pick them up and move them. They're one of the most calm snakes possible. I think I've only been bit by one black rat snake, and it was in a tree and it struck at me.
Oh, geez. What about the, you've never been bit by the caimans, right?
The caiman? I do have, I have been bit by the caiman. Yes. Big Daddy, I was doing, like, how I touched the side of his jaw.
Yeah.
And I was pushing my limits on purpose to see what would happen. And he just spun and bit me. And like, literally it was a nick, nothing crazy. Like, it was literally and let go. But it literally, I was pushing my limits. Like, I was there for like 15 minutes, just rubbing his jaw back and forth and going over him and just trying to desensitize him. And he was like, nope, not having it. And he went, grabbed and let go.
Oof. Yeah, that's scary.
No, he didn't grab and like shake. He just went and let go.
Oh, okay. Just letting you know that
it wasn't even hard. It was
wow. All right, man. Well, I know that you got to get to work. It's after your stop time, but I really appreciate you coming on. Where do you think you're going to be in like 5 or 10 years from now? Like, what are your goals or aspirations?
One of my goals 5 or 10 years from now, I would like to be traveling and doing more educational content through my YouTube channel, and just being able to do that and show more people and like spread more knowledge of animals. That's like one of my goals. Like, I want to be doing that.
Yeah, man, I feel you there. Yeah, I want to travel as well. Well, next time you're in Florida, man, hit me up and we'll have to go out and do some herping.
I will 100%. I think I'm going to try to go down there in January.
Okay.
I got a bunch of people on the list to visit.
Yeah, it's going to be, it'll be cold here then. All right. Well, thank you, man. I appreciate it.
Thank you. I appreciate it. You have a great one. And I thank you for having me on.
Absolutely. For sure.